Hello, welcome to my channel. I just arrived at a very familiar place. Yeah. Um, my goal here today is to work on my different 180 variations. And I want to practice not only just the regular 180, right, on flat ground, but going up the bank in 180. I've done all these. None of it's new, but I want to get dialed. And so that's the deal. And then, so 180 up the bank. And then if I, now, this is a maybe, a big maybe. I might actually try the 360 up there if I feel comfortable. If I get my 180 really dialed and I feel like I can get enough twist. I haven't been doing 360s for quite a while. I used to do them on flat ground, believe it or not. And it's like one of those things I completely lost. A, because I don't do them, and B, because I've gotten older, right? So it might be kind of cool, because if I can 360 up that, then maybe I can 360 elsewhere. We will see. But don't hold my breath on that one. Let's focus on the 180 first. Then we'll talk about the 360s. And I will talk a little bit about how to 180. All right, let's work on the 180 first, then we'll get to those other things. I do love how my BMX bike just so easily fits in the back of my new Bolt EUV. And I love it. I can do these short drives around and not use gas. That's so awesome. And if you go watch my other channel, it's called Geeky Note with Shad. I'll put a link in the description to it. I actually do some range testing with this and a total review of this car, along with other geeky things. I did a how do I use the 360 camera to edit the videos when you see my videos, and I'll be doing that today. So yeah, if you're interested in that kind of content, check out my other channel. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do a basic flat ground 180. So let's do that. Let's pull it this time. Okay, so the second one I pulled. A 180, like after you learn the bunny hop on a BMX bike, a 180 is pretty much your next essential trick you want to learn. And I'll show you why. Let's take it over to the bank over here. Okay, I'm gonna go over to the steeper, bigger part of the bank to just show you kind of how you can learn how to do an air. So an air would be like in a quarter pipe or half pipe on a transition, but this is a good place to learn the basics of how you would 180 when you're doing an air. So I'm gonna ride up 180 and ride back down. So now you can see just the basic principle of riding up a transition, doing a 180 and riding back out of it. So if you're ever at a skate park or something and there's a transition, start lower at the bottom and then work your way up, and the next thing you know, you'll be doing airs. Getting above coping. I'm kind of chicken these days, but I'm still working on it. Now I am going to 180 up onto the top. So I'm going to ride off, jump 180, and then try to come out of it. Might take me a couple tries, but this is a cool trick to do. So there you go, second try. So there are some 180 tricks you can do. So learning the 180 on flat ground first and then being able to take it to different obstacles is kind of cool. So the tail tap is riding up, and how I did before, where I 180'd on the top, except I'm going to go a tad bit slower because my idea isn't to launch off the top. It's to go up 180, land on my back wheel with the brake. Hopefully my brake works good enough because it's kind of and then ride back in. So it's going to be up 180, tail tap, ride back in. That was definitely it, but I want to get it a little bit better and see if I can get up on the top, closer on the yellow line. Yeah. I think so. I have no idea if I was up to the top or not. It felt like I was, but until I watch a video I won't know. So I'll watch the clip and then we'll decide if I was on the top or not. Okay, that time I was up at the top. That was pretty cool. I didn't really hop out of it very well, but it is what it is, right? So now I want to move to the how-to portion of the video. So I'm gonna use my phone in slow motion. So this is the end of the riding portion of the video. Onto how to do the 180. I've been riding a bit more than what you see in this video, and this is what happens. Disgusting, I know. All right, let's get to the how to 180 part. Okay, to do a 180, it's all in your upper body and your head movement. A lot of people think that it's all down here, whipping their bike around or whatever. It's like any sport that requires spinning, whether it's ice skating, skateboarding, you name it, snowboarding. In BMX, it's the same. Your head and your shoulders lead everything else. In the 180, it's very subtle because I'm only doing 180 degrees, so I don't need to really whip it. But if you see people doing, 360s, 540s, 720s, you'll see they're much more twisted in the upper body with a 180 because it's not very far. It's very subtle. So I'll show this in slow motion, but basically what I do is I actually do a little wind up first. I don't know why. I don't even know if it's necessary. It's just something that I learned many years ago, and it's just what I do. So I turn a little bit in the opposite direction. I turn my body in the opposite direction. And then I turn my head and my shoulders, and my bike follows. And it's very subtle. So as I come up, I do a small bunny hop. I don't have to bunny hop that high for a 180. Bunny hop. So I wind, bunny hop, turn my upper body, and the bike follows. And I spot my landing directly behind me by stopping my head turn and my shoulders, and then the bike comes in alignment and lands. And if I do it correctly, I land perfectly 180 degrees. Sometimes I over rotate it a little, sometimes I under rotate it a little, but it's all going to be determined by my upper body and where my head and shoulders turn, and that always leads. So let's watch the slow motion of me doing it, and then we'll recap. Okay, so there you have it. That was the 180 in slow motion. If you watch closely, the head turns, the shoulders turn. I do the little bit of wind up going in the opposite direction. Then I turn my head and shoulders, and then the bike follows. It's very subtle, but you can see it in the video. And then I spot my landing and come down 180. So I'll play that video again. Just watch really closely what I'm doing up here, and then you can kind of replay it if you need to and see my timing of like when I bunny hop. Notice I don't bunny hop very high for a 180 because I don't need to. I'm only rotating 180 degrees, so I don't have to get super high. If you want to hop over something or do more fancy tricks with a 180, like 180 up a curb or something, then you need to hop higher. But for just a flat ground 180, you don't need to hop that high. Or you could hop higher for style points too. So that's helpful. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm not going to try a 360. I'm just not feeling it. I know I said that at the beginning of the video, but I don't feel like I'm quite there yet, and you know, I don't want to hurt myself. I actually have the Schwamigan 40 coming up this coming weekend, so I'm actually probably being a little timid because I don't want to hurt myself before I do the big event. So I really appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace.